first things first, keep it really simple. How are you feeling?
Do you know what? I'm feeling really good. I come off stage and I had all that kind of, you know, when you get all that pit at the stomach kind of thing. And then, you know, it's all the adrenaline draining out your body. I've only just recovered from a hernia operation.
Oh, shit.
So, like, I had that 3 weeks ago. But, do you know, I feel really good.
Yeah?
Great, yeah.
When you say you came off stage, like, kind of, what was it? Were you worried about how the set had gone, or was it the fact that it went too fast?
Do you know what? I think it's just overall excitement. You know, it's that fight or flight thing. And I guess also, you know, you've got to think there's a lot riding on it, innit?
Obviously.
You know, and it ain't like just playing in, like, you know, a toilet or something, you know, bingo hall or something.
Well, you've done a few of them as
well.
Yeah,
we've all done it,
Exactly.
They say that's the stage and there's not even carpet, you know. I think we drove up to King Billy's in Northampton. We're from Essex.
Oh, yeah.
So we get finished work half 5, drive 2.5 hours up the M1, play to no one in a biker club. Everyone's really friendly, and then you drive back home at 12:30 at work, 9 o'clock. So that was kind of a bit special. Do you know what I mean? No, it's really good, yeah.
Did you have a moment though, because it's only 30 minutes ultimately, 30 minutes flies by, did you have a moment on stage where you were able to stop and just drink in the atmosphere, the fact that where people had turned out to see you?
Third song in, Lair the Ice Giants, it's mostly guitar with a little bit of singing. We did it that way, so it gives me a bit of chance. And I'm looking out, and bearing in mind that I've never been on a stage where you can actually, like, you don't knock the guy next to you, you know? And I'm standing there and I'm, you know, looking out and I'm going, oh my, you know, it's very surreal. And you're watching the crowd gets bigger and bigger, and people, obviously where the New Blood stage is, they're going, oh, I like that, coming over. And I was like, you know, and then all of a sudden all the nerves were all right. Actually, do you know what? This is where I should be. You know, so yeah, during the third song I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to enjoy it. So that was halfway through the set, yeah.
At least you had that, because it flies by, 30 minutes do. Did you have a strategy before you went on stage, knowing that you had this thing at a festival where you got your curiosity watchers?
Yeah.
You're standing at the entrance, you're giving it all that, and you know you've got to draw them in. Did you have a plan, or was it just, we'll play our music, they'll come?
I'll do the whole Lemmy thing where just get on, play, but we have a song called Circled by Sharks, where we pelt the crowd with sharks.
Of course.
That always brings people in, because people look, when you play metal, it's amazing, like, what an inflatable does.
Oh, yeah,
right? And something about heavy metalers and inflatables, just, you revert back to being a 4-yard, innit? And if the band right now was putting inflatables, I'd probably be going, Rob, I don't know what it is, like King Kraken do it. They have all the best, right? And you instantly know it. Evil Scarecrow used to do it a lot with Crabulon.
Yeah.
I just learned it from them, you know. I went, hang on, this seems to be working. So that's that. We always know with our set, and we've really defined that obviously through the Metal of the Masses. So we get on, we don't chat too much, we've got our bits, our cues and all that. You always notice right at the end, the sharks, so it's all about Jaws, right? Circled by Sharks.
Of course.
That's our one. That's the only song I need, and then I'm like, I've won them over, you know.
And you felt that pretty much happened here? Like
you could see, and like, you know, look, we're not as heavy as everyone, we're like the Wish version of Mastodon. You know, like, look, we can't afford Mastodon, but we've got Reverent Son, right? But do you know what? I think people start going, oh, do you know what? We're very riff heavy, and you start people going, oh, do you know what? That's a bit different. It's not as guttural, as heavy, and I think it makes a nice difference.
People love metal, and Bloodstock's metal and rock and all that kind of thing, but also people want to groove and they want to move as well. We need a little break from the death.
Totally.
You know what I mean? So you're all like that whole. I don't think there's any rule anymore about what band belongs at Bloodstock and stuff.
No, I agree.
You belong.
I agree.
The reason why you know you belong is how you got here. Your journey here, obviously, Essex, Metal to the Masses. You know, I will say it is nice. Like, I'm 35 now. And obviously most of us all grew up when it was very faddy. So whatever Scuzz and Kerrang was, that was what you listened to. It's great now that, you know, you see it now a lot with the younger kids as well, where you can listen to something very heavy and poppy and it's not as judgmental and it isn't so driven by like what the media said, this is what you have to. And I think, again, Bloodstock's always been that festival where it's always given a chance to a band that maybe at the time wouldn't have fitted in with what was on the radio or wherever. And I would say that, especially here, it's nice that there's a broad bit of music. It's not just, you know, if I get it, if you want to go see free thrash bands, go on a night and see free thrash bands. Bloodstock's great. You've got Green Lung, who I adore, by the way. You've got Stoner, then you can go watch something like Rotting Christ, and then you're like, oh, I'd like something like Opeth or Clutchy. And it's a little bit for everyone, rather than it just be, here's 15 bands and they're all this kind of music, which means that you eliminate half your audience instantly. So, no, it's been really nice to have that, to be fair. Do you feel like you've been treated well?
Mate, I've just got to say how friendly everybody is, especially with the Metal to the Masses, with the judges and all the people involved. Like, they have been just phenomenal. They've been really, like, we got told that we won it, and we had 3 or 4, I think it was Ian and Riff Monkey and Phil from Ghost from Atlantis, were all really friendly. They said, look, we're going to get you this. They got us DC Attack. So I was like, we were actually a bit overwhelmed. Yeah. Because we sort of thought you're going to win it, and then it's just up to you to do it. And everyone's been really nice and just helping us out. And we'll get you this interview. And we've obviously done some online ones, and I've done a radio with American. Everyone's been, and I wasn't ready for that.
Really?
I really didn't think that. I thought you just win it, and there you go, on your jog. And it's just been amazing that there's been so much support and help, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hell of a high though, and an inevitable come down.
Yeah.
Are you ready for that come down? Are you ready for what comes afterwards?
Do you know what? We've got to work harder now. Because you do Bloodstock, right? And I think people do make the mistake of, okay, we've played Bloodstock. Yeah. That's brilliant. You've done it. Excellent. But now you've got to work harder, because now I've got to look at, like, getting a promoter, booking agent. Yeah. I mean, we can all play the same venues, or do you want to get, as any band evolves, you start getting maybe we could open for that band. And I think for us, as great as it's been, and it is amazing, I'm going to drive home this weekend, and while I'm driving home in that 2-3 hours it's going to take, I'm going to be like, right, I'm going to speak to this person. I've got to start looking at booking agents, and obviously that's something, and might need a manager. Yeah. So I think if you're a hard-working band, it's great. You win it, but it's like saying I've won the gold medal. Right, now I've got to train for next year.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And I think that's when you realise that I'm passionate about music, but I also want to take a professional, not just, I've won it, right, brilliant. You can only go around with the badge of I played Bloodstock so long.
Yeah.
And people say, that's great, so what are you doing now? Right, you're only as good as the last job you did if you're a tradesman. Yes. And I think that applies to us, definitely,
Well, of course, I mean, the idea is as well, you've had the opportunity to play the New Blood, which is something you earned. But now the goal is to be invited back and play the bigger stages.
I was going to say, King Crackham.
Yes.
I don't know them massively personally, but we were supposed to play the Sharkfest gig together. And I read about them, and they were invited to play here. Yeah. And I thought, that's what, absolutely was going to say that. I was like, yes, I've won a contest, but that's not good enough for me. I need to, in a couple of years' time, be given the phone call and say,
right.
Even if it's the EMP, I don't know if it's Jägermeister tent,
that one, yeah.
Yeah, even, or it was here, VIP, that would still mean a lot, because at least then you're working on the right path.
They've noticed you without you having to go out with a begging bowl, effectively.
Yeah, and I think that, again, that's the next step, right? And hopefully that this will, I know in the summer, especially up here in the Midlands, you have a lot of festivals, and it is the festival season.
What it is, yeah.
And to be able to get on some of these other festivals and get our foot in the Midlands would be very good for us.
We just need to spread out beyond Essex as well, because ultimately we're Londoners, so we're not too
really?
far. Yeah, we're next door to you boys. Yeah. So do you know what I mean? Like, so it's just a matter of spreading out that way as well. We have tons going on in London. You can out and about as much as possible.
Because London's quite like, you can just gig in London and never leave it.
Oh,
you know? I mean, I'm a massive Green Lung fan, but I know they're from the South Coast. But then they moved to London, and they just dominated it. Do you know what I mean? So we're south, we're 45 minutes away. With a pier that burns down all the time.
Yeah.
Probably an insurance job. How does a pier burn down when it's surrounded by water?
That's a good question. Another good question. You staying the rest of the weekend? You were here now for the weekend. Me
and the other guitar player are sleeping in a very, very tiny tent. We didn't plan. The other two are going back with all the equipment. We're here enjoying the weekend.
Yep.
Not going to lie, he bought the smallest tent. When it's about that big. And then he took me to the tent.
In the picture, the two people are lying side by side, that kind of thing.
Luckily, me and a guitar player, I actually met Danny when I was 18. He was 17, and we gelled over guitar in college, and it's been quite interesting. We've always been in kind of bands, and then we did Reverent Son coming out of COVID. Probably a lot of people, some bands broke up. Like I was in another band, and we were actually gigging around the country, very 70s rock kind of band, flares and everything. And it's actually been quite nice that, like, today we walked off and it was like we met each other like both 35, 34, so half a lifetime ago. And he kind of sort of helped me play guitar. I was still learning guitar.
Yeah.
He sort of taught me how to do more of the Whitley stuff. And then it all comes full circle that you're walking off and you're going, wow, we did it, right? Like all those times we were jamming Judas Priest in his house and learning breaking the law, and he'd be showing me how to learn like Mastodon bits and stuff. Fast forward, I'm walking off and I'm thinking that's very special to me that we had that. He's not just some person I know, he's like a family friend,
It's an incredible, those moments are what matter
yeah,
more than
totally,
anything
yeah.
else.
So sleeping in the little tent sounds terrible, but for us actually that's all part of that's what people are going to remember, right?
It's the Bloodstock 2024 experience. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website where reviews, news and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at gbhbl. Just search for gbhbl and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.